this point
Okay,
Ralph Henry.
this is mine against the wall.
today's date is
And
June
you
23rd,
guys tell me what to do.
2011.
Well, my
Um,
concern is,
We're at the World Center Marriott in Orlando,
you
at
have all
the
this
Special
stuff.
Forces Convention.
Throw these tables.
And my name is Carlton Cartwright. The name of the person being interviewed is Henry DiGiacinto.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Henry, when is your birthday and your current address?
Now,
July 9th, 1943, 2100 South Palm Circle, North Palm Beach, Florida, 33408.
Okay. My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the Executive Director for the Children's Coalition Incorporated. Okay, and let's see. What wars and branch of service did you serve in?
During the Vietnam era, I served in the United States Army.
What was your rank?
When I went in, it was a private. When I came out, it was a captain.
And you said you served in Vietnam?
Yes, I did serve in
Okay,
Vietnam.
fine. Were you drafted or were you enlisted?
I was drafted.
Okay, where were you living at the time?
Newark, Delaware.
Do you recall your first days in service?
Yes, I do.
What did it feel like? Why don't you tell us about boot camp and training experience?
Well, it was just a long train ride from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where I was inducted to Fort Bragg, North Carolina with a train. Then we disembarked, 5 of us, to go to basic training at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The rest of them on the train went on to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I believe it's in South Carolina.
What did it feel like?
Felt like being in the Army.
Okay. Do you remember your instructors? How did you get through basic training?
It wasn't too bad. I was in pretty good physical condition, so it wasn't a strain on me physically. Emotionally, I was prepared for it, so it wasn't a strain on me emotionally. It was actually not difficult. I was going through basic training as the platoon guide or platoon leader trainee for a North Carolina National Guard company. So they were going to go do their 8 weeks of basic and then go home. I did my basic there and then went on to advanced infantry training from there. Myself and 4 other individuals.
Okay. You said you served in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Where exactly did you go?
I went to Nha Trang and reported into the 5th Special Forces Group. I had gotten to the 5th Special Forces Group by volunteering for airborne school in Vietnam to become a Special Forces officer.
Well, I would imagine you
Big
remember.
jump from being a private to going to Special Forces school.
Excuse me?
There was a process by which you could do that at that time.
Oh, really? What did it feel like? What was your job assignment?
In going to Vietnam, or
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Going to Vietnam, I was assigned to the B-20 Mike Force, the Kontum Battalion, Kontum Province.
Did you see combat?
Yes.
Tell us about it. What was it like? Tell us about your job.
Well, that particular, I had several jobs in Vietnam. That one was as a company commander for a Mike Force company, and we were deployed into an area which was controlled for a long time by the Viet Cong. They contested our presence.
Okay. Were there many casualties in your unit?
Yes, there was some fairly substantial casualties. I think we had 15 or so minor battles in the 30 days we were there. Most of them in the last 15 days.
Can you tell us about a couple of your most memorable experiences?
They were all pretty memorable. Coming back was a good one.
In reference to you, what do you mean, coming back from the field, or?
Yeah, coming back from the field, coming back from Vietnam when I came back. And, it was always interesting to me where I was and what was going on. I enjoyed actually my service most of the time.
Were you a POW?
No.
Okay. Were you awarded any medals or citations?
Yeah, I was awarded a medal or two.
Can you?
And nothing to speak about.
Okay. All right. All right. Were you an officer?
Yes, I was. I was a first lieutenant when I arrived in Vietnam in the fall of 1968.
Okay. Were you involved in battle planning?
To some degree, yes.
Okay. Okay. Did you sustain any injuries?
I got sick once, but no serious injuries, no.
Okay. Okay. The next segment still goes back to, again, asking you about being at the front or under fire. Anything else you want to add to that?
It's scary. But if you're trying, if you're doing things, you overcome that. And I was lucky. I sustained no injuries.
Okay. How did you stay in touch with your family?
By letter.
Okay. So was that, you have a pretty good recourse?
Well, for a period of time, when you're in the field, we weren't able to get letters in or out, so I didn't do that in the field much. But after my service in the Mike Force, I was moved to a team at camp or a place called DiGiacinto.
Okay.
And then it was easier to write more frequently. We had more regular supplies and channels to get letters in and out.
Okay, good. What was the food like throughout?
Well, it varied, mostly from bad to really bad. It got to a point where I could hardly eat anymore because it just was monotonous eating.
Okay. I mean, this is throughout, basic training, stateside.
Oh, no, basic food was great.
Okay, but out
Basic.
in the field it was...
In Vietnam, the food was not good.
Okay, all right. Did you have plenty of supplies?
Most of the time, yes.
Okay.
We didn't get much meat or fresh food in where we were, no.
Did you feel pressure or stress?
Occasionally, but not too much, no.
Or how did you handle it? How did you handle your stress?
I'm not sure how I handled it.
That you managed?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything that you did in particular for good luck?
I tried to make myself small. When I walked around in the field in a line on rice paddies, I sort of tried to get myself at the same height as my soldiers that I was with.
Okay.
As being taller, I stood out in a line from the distance, and I found from experience that everyone would start shooting at me first.
This change up a little bit here. How did people entertain themselves?
Well, a lot of people, I think, weren't really entertained all that much. It was pretty serious.
Right.
But we entertained ourselves. We in the field, we didn't entertain ourselves at all.
Right.
At DiGiacinto, we were in the field and out of the field, but at a camp type of situation. We had movies once a week.
Mm-hmm.
and we would see the movie
Okay.
once or twice, show it to our troops and the people that were there with us.
Right.
That was fun. I can recall the take-up reel didn't work, so we had to take turns winding it up as it went through the film, and sort of everybody had a turn at turning the take-up reel.
Right. Okay. That must have been interesting. Were you ever any place while you were overseas where they brought entertainers in, you know, from the States or wherever?
No.
No? Okay. You never got to see
Well,
Bob Hope or anybody?
I actually ran into him in Bangkok on my,
R&R?
no, it wasn't an R&R. I spent a year and a half in Thailand after I was in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
But I ran across him at the Chapia Hotel one day with General Abrams, and all around the corner literally walked into him.
Okay.
But as far as now, we were too far out in the field really to expect visits from entertainers.
Gotcha. Okay. So what did you do when you were on leave?
I went to visit historic sites. I went on leave to Bangkok when I was in Vietnam, and went to see the various temples and sites.
Where did you travel while you were in the service?
I had the opportunity to go to Europe a couple of times and to Southeast Asia a couple of times.
Where'd you go in Europe?
England and Germany.
And besides Vietnam and Bangkok, where else did you go in Asia?
I went to Hong Kong, Cambodia, and Australia.
Any other countries or states, for that matter, that you visited while you were in the military?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. So you said you were in Pennsylvania? What state?
Pennsylvania. I was drafted in Pennsylvania. My hometown is Hershey, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
Middletown.
And you went, where was basic training at?
Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay. And from there you went straight overseas?
No, I went to Fort Lewis, Washington for advanced infantry training.
It's up in the Northwest?
Yes, near Seattle, Washington.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then I went to OCS at Fort Benning, Georgia for 6 months.
Okay.
And after Fort Benning, Georgia, I went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and became a basic training officer
Okay.
to take other people through the basic training cycles I had just gone through. So that was pretty interesting. 3 times in the year I went through basic training or more.
In different capacities of it?
Yes. Mhm.
Right. Okay. Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual events, you know, throughout
Oh,
the...
every day there's something funny going on. Yeah, I recall a lot of them.
Anything in particular, you know, give me some examples.
Nothing in particular. Everybody has those funny things that keeps them going.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the next question is, but we'll just keep moving right along.
Okay, what's the next question?
The next question is, what were some of the pranks that you or others would pull?
I think we put a pig in Jakovenko's bed one time. And that was pretty funny when he found it and chased it around out of the sleeping building.
Okay. Do you have any photos? You have any photographs?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. They're available on Bright Futures website under the Vietnam pictures, and if you find any of them particularly interesting or amusing, you have an opportunity to purchase them, and the proceeds go to the benefit of our school and to the Chapter 85 of the Special Forces Association.
Great. And what is that website exactly?
Bright Futures Academy is our charter school in North Palm Beach, Florida.
So,
And It's brightfuturesacademy.com.
Great, great, thank you.
.org? Yeah,
brightfuturesacademy.org.
yeah.
Got it.
It is .com, I'm sorry.
It is .com.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I won't argue with it.
Who is
I
that
think
lady?
both of them get you. She's the principal of the elementary school.
Okay, and what is your name?
Jamie Madden.
Because they heard you, so they want to know everybody that's in the room. Jamie what?
Madden.
Madden? Thank you,
Madam,
Jamie. Not a
she's here to help take pictures of the people at this convention and put them on the website for their downloading if they want to download any.
Great, great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. The photos that are on the website, are their names associated with the
Yes.
photos? Great,
There'll
okay.
be, I have a lot of the people's names and ranks and locations and circumstances, but there are some that I don't remember their names. And if they want to look at, people want to log in and look and see if they've ever been at Doc Siang or Play Me or in the Kontum Mike Force or in the 46 Company or the 10th Special Forces Group. I was in all of those and took pictures of a lot of people. They're there. If I took their picture, I have them, most of them in there.
Great. What did you think? Well, you were one. Okay, but same question applies. What did you think of your fellow officers, fellow soldiers?
Well, I thought they were the best group of people that I had the opportunity to work with, ever, with the exception of my current staff at Bright Futures.
Okay.
And they have a great staff. And they know that. I've told them I haven't had this much fun in my life since I was in the Army. And that was a lot of fun.
Did you keep a personal diary?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
I think I shredded most of them, though.
Well, yeah. It doesn't go any further than that.
That's right.
We'll just keep going here. Doesn't ask for you to share that or anything. Just was curious. I guess it's a question that the library is interested in. Do you recall the day your service ended?
Yes.
Okay.
Twice. I was in twice. I was in TTS once, back from Vietnam, and then I went back in again for another 2 years, from 71 to 73.
What is TTS?
Oh, my estimated time, termination of service,
Oh.
my ETA. Or back from Vietnam, and I fulfilled my obligation at the time I got out of the Army, went back to school for 6 months, 7 months, and then within a year or so re-entered the Army.
What did you go to school for?
To finish my degree work. When I was drafted, it was in my last semester, and I'd never had my degree finished until after my first term of service.
And what did you get a degree in?
Political science.
Okay. And where did you finish? Where did you go to school?
University of Delaware, class of 1965.
Okay. Okay. Where were you when you separated from this service each time?
I was in Vietnam the first time and in Thailand the second time,
Okay.
and came back
To
to the States.
where?
The West Coast, I think it was Oakland,
Okay.
San Francisco area. And then I came back to the East Coast.
So what did you do in the days and weeks afterwards?
The
The
first
first
time
time?
I went back, I went to Germany and hung out for 4 or 5 months with a friend of mine in Hamburg, Germany.
And the second time? I guess when you got finished in Germany, then what, you went back to school?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. All right. Then you finished college.
Mhm.
Okay, so then you returned to the service,
Right.
and then when you got out the second time, it goes on to ask, did you work or go back to school, which you did
The first time I
first
finished
time.
school. The second time I was going to go back to work for the government, but there was funding cuts and the programs never went forward, so I employed myself by joining a family-related company and joined that. They were looking for someone to help also, so I helped out there.
Was your education supported by the GI Bill?
No.
No.
I never took advantage of that. I'm sorry I didn't. I think it lapsed after 10 years or 5. I think it was 10 years. If you don't take advantage of it by then, it goes away.
Okay.
At least that was my understanding at the time.
Did you make any close friends while you were in the service?
A couple, yeah.
And did you continue any of those relationships?
Mm-hmm.
For how long?
No, we're still friends today. We don't see each other as often as possible, but everybody has, their own road to go and different places. We stay in touch from time to time.
Okay. Can I get you to expound on the organization that you're in today, or at least, the activities? Obviously you joined a veterans organization afterwards.
Well, actually, I joined the Special Forces Association when I was in active duty in 1973.
Oh boy.
So I've been, maybe it was 72, probably this summer or fall of 72, I joined as an active duty member in the, and when after I got out of the Army, for a period of time I became active in the 11th Special Forces Group Reserve Unit. But I was then married and had young children, and it was too much of a demand on my time and distance to continue. So I basically dropped out of the reserves and out of the organization for an extended period of time till the 90s, and that was in the late or mid 70s. So for 20 years I was out.
Okay, so then 20 years later you came back in.
Well, I got more active in the organization, yes.
And, what do those activities entail,
Well, basically, just involving myself a little bit in the organization for the reunion aspect of the Special Forces Association national conventions. I wasn't involved in the business or lobbying end or anything. I was just there to see buddies who all decided a bunch of us would get back together at some of these reunions after about 20 years. And so we met up, I think, in Las Vegas the first time, and since then, periodically, we have gotten together. I've not gone to all the conventions, but every second or third year I go to one.
Okay. And I guess obviously if you've been in this long now, you enjoy the participation, camaraderie.
Camaraderie mostly.
Yeah. Okay. So now, what did you go on to do as a career after the war?
Well, I started out in the family business, which was a meat and poultry business, and decided that I didn't like working in a family business that much, and went into the financial area and involved myself in commodities trading.
Oh, okay. Where was that at?
I joined Reynolds and Company in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I worked in Allentown for Reynolds and Dean Witter Reynolds and Prudential for 8 or 10 years. And I went to New York and worked for some other companies, and ultimately founded my own firm and had a couple of funds,
Okay.
which I retired from in '93.
Gotcha. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
No, I don't think so. I mean, of course it influenced my thinking, but not, and I don't think in a negative way. I think in a very positive way, understanding the costs and sacrifices that people make when they go take chunks out of their life and expose themselves to hardship and risk. It takes a toll on them. So it gave me the ability, I think, to understand the plight of a lot of individuals who were less lucky than I, because I didn't suffer any, I believe, any injuries, either physically or emotionally. For whatever reason, I don't know. I've just been able to keep I think, a balance in my life, although from time to time I see other people having difficulty coping with what had happened to them.
Well, could you give us some more specifics about the organization? Since you're in a veterans organization, what kinds of activities does your post or association have?
Well, most recently I've just been active in working with our chapter of this association in preparing and helping out with getting the convention organized and executed. The previous organizations was more just going and visiting with people every couple of months, and it was really a social kind of situation.
But this is more, I mean, this seems to be well, I guess there's more organizational, from the meeting I was in this morning.
Yeah, this is a business meeting,
right.
Really, but I think I've not involved myself with the business or in shaping the policies or aims of our organizations. My interest is primarily in being available to younger. I would like to see our organization get younger members. A lot of our members, I think, are stuck in a period that existed 40, 50 years ago, which doesn't exist anymore for our younger soldiers, and I'm very much interested in involving myself in getting some newer soldiers into our organization and broadening the base of it.
Why is that?
Out of the Vietnam era into the other challenges we face today, to bring it more up to date, to meet the needs of these soldiers rather than talk about the past with the old ones.
And why is that important?
Well, I don't know if it's important. It's just what I think is
Okay.
something I want to do. Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just, why do you feel so strongly?
Well, if we don't do that, then someday there's going to be two guys sitting here and they're going to bet on who's going to be the last one alive in our organization. And I often think about that picture, seeing these two really old guys sitting around here talking about the good old days in Vietnam. And I think that's not a positive kind of outcome for our organization. We have other challenges, new risks, new people, new wars, new struggles, all that.
How often do you attend reunions? You do attend reunions, correct?
Yeah, this is my fourth or fifth one in the last 10 years, maybe 12 years. Fortunately, I got to go to some of them before some of my friends passed away, so I got to see them before.
Right. How would you say your service and experiences affected your life?
Oh, I think very dramatically.
Can you expound on that?
I have no idea where would I be if I hadn't gone this way or that way? Who the hell knows?
Right.
I don't know.
So you feel like...
I feel very happy with where I went and what I did and the good things that have happened to me, but I'm very comfortable in what I've done with my life, and then continue to look forward to every day to do more.
How about this career that you started with Bright Futures? I mean, that's obviously
I've been there. This is my
impactful.
7th year, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy working with kids that have all of their potential in front of them, and to see how they make choices and try to help them put in place experiences to give them a better ability to make better choices for what they want to do with their lives. An foundation of education.
How many kids are in the program or go to the school?
Right now, I think we have 635 or so for a K through 8 school.
Okay. And what are the backgrounds of these young people?
We're pretty much a cross-section of the community of West Palm Beach. You know, just pretty much no different.
Is that alternative ed or a charter
It's a charter school. It's not so much as an alternative education as it's a choice school. Mm-hmm. We have whoever comes, we get an application. It's first come, first served. If we have a seat, we can accept them.
Besides that, any particular eligibility requirements?
No, the only thing we require is that they have no significant behavioral issues, because our experience has taught us that then takes away time from other students getting the best that they can out of their day.
Okay. When a child goes through your school and they're ready to go on to secondary school,
Mm-hmm.
what do they go to local area schools or?
Yeah, they generally have, what we're trying to do with our schools, prepare them for the magnet programs that exist in the high schools, to give them an opportunity to successfully compete and be entered into a magnet program that they might desire. We have an emphasis on science and mathematics for a number of different reasons and programs that exist in our area. We have a strong art program, which has been impacted adversely by the cutting funding of recent years. So we're concentrating with the funds we have in the math and science areas for the kids who are interested in engineering or math or science careers.
Okay. Were you one of the founders of this school?
No,
Okay.
my wife was the founder of the school.
Okay, all right. So you were there when she founded it, or?
No, she was there 3 or 4 years prior to me. She started out as a kindergarten teacher in a startup school. And the head of the school then was an illegal alien, and after 9/11, he was deported. And she ended up running the school and grew it from 40, I think it was 40-some students, so they started out with, to the, when I joined it, we had 270-some students.
Right.
I think I heard her. Is that her? No? Okay. No, it's not her. All right. She's around here somewhere.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else in our final minutes that you would like to add, or anything that we haven't covered?
Oh, there's tons we haven't covered, lots of things. I'd really like to, I sort of came about my involvement with Bright Futures in a sort of roundabout kind of way. I ran into my wife now at a job fair. After I'd retired, I was looking for what the schools were like, because I also have a young son he's now 11, but he was then 4. And I hadn't been in school in so many years, I wanted to find out what was going on, so I had already retired, so I went back and became a substitute teacher. And it was a shocking to see how badly the schools have become.
Wake up call.
About where he was going to be going for the next few years, so I started to get interested in acting. But it's not really so bad. I came sort of a roundabout way to the Army, which we didn't touch upon at all. But I was in the Peace Corps before I was in the Army.
Right.
And the Peace Corps sent me to the training program at UCLA, which entailed a period of teaching elementary school in Watts. And that was in... You're laughing because you know what happened tonight when we got there.
Tell us about it if you don't mind.
Well, that was my first combat, was going to elementary school in Watts. And we had a fairly large class, and I wasn't getting a whole lot out of college at the time. That's why I went there. They accepted me foolishly.
How large was the class?
There was 227 or 30 of us in this Peace Corps class going,
Okay.
slated to go to Nigeria, but anybody who lived in Los Angeles at the time knew things were not right.
Okay.
And we went down and had organizational meetings to go down and practice teach in the schools in Watts. And my recollection is the Black Panthers came and said that if we came down there, that there would be serious trouble.
Okay.
And I believed them. So you can imagine turning 130 white kids loose in Watts in 1966.
Uh-huh.
They're just not a good, by themselves basically.
Right.
It wasn't a good thing to do. So I somehow got elected along with a couple other guys to go tell the directors of this program that this really wasn't a great idea. And the reasons for sending us there may have looked good when they thought about it, but when the reality was that it's not a good idea to go down there. And sure enough, we went Monday, Tuesday, the second Watts riot started. So I've taught for a few weeks at the 97th and Figueroa Street School, 1st and 5th grade. And I lived with a black woman 2 blocks away from the school. I'll not say her name, but she was a lovely lady, and the program paid for me to room or board with her. But she came out and saved my butt a couple times, got me home from school safely. And Artie, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
But that's how I got in the Army, was because of that. I felt I completed the program successfully, but they didn't deploy me. They sent everybody off to New York to meet the planes to go to Nigeria, and they called me and everybody who was at that meeting and said we wouldn't make good Peace Corps people because our personality profiles didn't fit what they were looking for. We took these very extensive personality profiles during this training. First time I ever done that. And I first thought it was pretty hilarious because they predicted that my best suited occupation was as a career military officer.
Okay.
And this was before any of this happened, so I'm thinking, so much for that. Well,
Right.
apparently those inventories are pretty accurate because it suited me pretty much, my personality pretty much suited what they had predicted on this. So they were probably right in keeping me. But they notified the draft board that I was no longer in the Peace Corps program. So I got drafted. And then I missed my draft notice, and so the draft board thought I was ignoring their letters. But they were sending me to Los Angeles, and I'd gone back to finish school.
Okay.
With a stop in Germany and then back to Delaware.
This was the second time.
First time. First time I was out. Peace Corps, got drafted.
Peace Corps first. Then you got drafted. All right. So when did they get the misconception that you were...
Because they had sent my draft notice to my Los Angeles address where I was living while I was in the Peace Corps program.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where they reported, the Peace Corps reported that was my domicile. But once out of the Peace Corps, I didn't stay in Los Angeles.
Right. Where'd you go? You went...
Back to University of Delaware.
Got it. Okay.
Because I still had to finish up some school.
Right. Okay, well, we would like to thank you very much
Well, you're quite welcome.
for your
By the way, I enjoyed meeting you very much the other day. So,
recollection.
Hmm.
The other day or months ago?
well, just the other day, a month ago, I saw you for a few minutes and got
Right.
to know you at all.
Right.
This trip, I got to know you a little better. It seems like having much more fun.
And the feeling is mutual.
Thank you.
I was looking forward to this, actually. I think you
I've just-
probably have a lot.
We have so much time to go into all the kinds of different funny things that I saw and all the things. I've been very lucky in my life, and that's all I can attribute it to, is just having really good luck and getting through all of the things I saw, and I seemed to be
In the box?
right where things were going on when they were going on, and there were, whatever was the big thing, I happened to be sort of standing around, so, or near it.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Okay. Well, thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you.